this was not a decision that was taken lightly.
The CDC announced today it's reviving recommendations that even vaccinated people wear masks indoors in parts of the country where the coronavirus is surging.
I know it is not a welcomed piece of news that masking is going to be a part of people's lives who have already been vaccinated.
Previously, the CDC said those who are fully vaccinated can resume activities without wearing a mask.
Today, we have new science related to the Delta variant that requires us to update the guidance regarding what you can do when you are fully vaccinated.
Tarrant County officials chiming in too.
They're giving us the guidance. Let's follow it.
But Governor Greg Abbott has made his stance clear.
There will be no mask mandate.
That's what he told us during a live interview last week.
Every Texan understands what COVID can do.
Oh, I'm not expecting him to change that at all.
That's Tarrant County Judge Glenn Whitley at today's county commissioners meeting.
The governor's last 3 orders pretty well made it plain that there's nothing we can do locally.
Tarrant County is seeing an uptick in COVID numbers.
18% positivity rate, that's quite high.
458 COVID-19 patients are currently in the hospital.
That's about 10.23% of Tarrant County's hospital capacity.
In fact, Tarrant County makes up more than a third of all COVID hospitalizations in TSA Region E, according to the DFW Hospital Council.
Most of the cases in the hospital are unvaccinated folks.
So in addition to encouraging vaccines,
Those folks who are most vulnerable, if you've got underlying health conditions, regardless of whether you've had the vaccine or not, if you're out, I'd probably suggest that you wear the masks.
in Tarrant County, I'm Mira Placencia.